I uncovered the biggest scam on YouTube. This company called Huusk Knives has enlisted some of the biggest YouTube channels to promote their brand. So far, I've found 15 channels with at least 500k subscribers that have promoted this scam. And of those 15 channels, 7 of them have over 900k subscribers, with the 3 biggest channels being Rich Rebuilds with 1.39 million subscribers, Healthy Junk Food with 3 million subscribers, and Man Plus River, a channel with over 4.8 million subscribers. This scam company has completely taken over YouTube. And while this video is only focused on the biggest YouTube creators, I found over 30 channels on YouTube that promoted Huusk Knives. And if you add up all the subscribers of all these YouTube channels, it's over 20 million. So there is a high likelihood that a YouTuber you've watched in the past or are subscribed to has promoted this scam company. I will put the list of all the YouTube channels that promoted Huusk Knives in the description, so make sure to check it out after watching the entire video. Now, let me say this. I don't think these YouTube creators realize that Huusk Knives is a scam, but with that said, I'm not going to let them off the hook. They're responsible for doing their own research on a company before promoting that company to their subscribers. Before I break down how this company is a scam, here's a mashup of some of the biggest creators on YouTube promoting the brand.
This video is sponsored by Huusk. Huusk knives are created using the same techniques that ancient Japanese blacksmiths used to make katanas for the legendary samurai warriors.
It's made from high-quality Japanese steel and features an oak wood, dark texture, rustic style handle with a 38-degree blade edge.
Huusk knives come out of the box razor sharp, and they'll stay that way for years.
Knife has an ergonomic design. Do I know what that means? No, but it's what it says in here.
All right, and currently, for everyone watching this, Huusk is running a 70% discount on their authentic Japanese-inspired knives.
70%?
70% off. Imagine that. Imagine getting 70% off of something. Crazy, right?
Yes, Rich Rebuilds. It is crazy. It's crazy because the company's a scam and you promoted it. Look, I'm well aware that these YouTube creators are reading off a script. Unfortunately, most of the things that these YouTube creators said during their ad read is a lie. From the high-quality Japanese stainless steel, to the knives being handcrafted from ancient Japanese techniques used to create katanas. It's all a lie. During my investigation, I uncovered a network of companies designed to conceal the true identity of who actually owns Huusk Knives. I will break down my findings and why I think this company is a scam, starting with their marketing claims. Huusk Knives claims to make high-quality Japanese stainless steel knives. In fact, they claim that their knives are made using the same ancient Japanese knife-making techniques used to create samurai swords. According to Huusk Knives, each knife is handcrafted by Japanese bladesmiths with deep expertise in craftsmanship, and all their knives goes through rigorous testing before shipment to ensure quality. They also claim that their knives were created for both personal and professional use. Before I break down some of the company's false and misleading marketing claims, we need to address the elephant in the room. Is Huusk Knives a Japanese company? Huusk Knives would like you to believe they're a Japanese company. If you looked at their website, you will see that they've branded themselves as Huusk Japan. They are not a Japanese-owned or operated business. In fact, if you read their terms of service agreement, you will notice that their warehouses are actually located in China, and all their products are manufactured and delivered from China. A lot of times, you will see companies claiming to be Japanese or Japanese inspired, while having nothing in common with Japanese knives. They do this in order to deceive people into buying their product, and it's a very clever trick. Huusk Knives knows that there is a stigma associated with Chinese products. Basically, if it comes from China, it's probably cheap and low quality. So if they want to appeal to American consumers, they will deceptively market their knives as Japanese knives as opposed to Chinese knives, since Japan doesn't have the same stigma as China when it comes to the quality of their products. That being said, Huusk Knives isn't a Chinese-owned brand. I'll reveal the company who actually owns Huusk Knives later in the video. Let's address one of Huusk Knives' marketing claims. The company claims that their knives are made using the same traditional stainless steel that were used to make katanas for samurai warriors. Here's the problem with that claim. Katanas were never made using stainless steel. They were actually made using a high carbon steel called tamahagane. So that's the first lie Huusk Knives tells us. And by the way, The company never actually specifies the type of Japanese steel they actually use. They state on their website that they use high carbon Japanese steel. But which steel is it? Are they using VG10, AUS10, R2? They never actually tell you. But they do say they use 1810 electroplated steel, which is not Japanese steel. Because any company that's actually using Japanese steel will let you know the type of steel that their knives are made from. They wouldn't try to hide it. As a matter of fact, actual Japanese knives will have the words "Made in Japan" etched on their knives. Obviously, Huusk Knives doesn't want to tell you the type of Japanese steel they use, which is a huge red flag. Let's move on to the next marketing claim. Huusk Knives would like you to believe that their knives are hand-forged by master blacksmiths and each knife goes through rigorous testing before they're shipped. But in reality, that's not true. Their knives are actually mass-produced in China. And when I say mass-produced, I don't mean the knives are mass-produced by Huusk Knives themselves. I personally don't even think they make their own knives. I believe that Huusk Knives is nothing more than a dropshipping product. Why do I say this? Well, if you wanted to buy a knife from Huusk Knives, it will cost you $30. But if you were to search Huusk Knives on AliExpress, you will find the same type of knives at lower prices, and they all have the index finger hole just like Huusk Knives. This leads me to believe that Huusk Knives most likely made an agreement with a Chinese supplier to buy their knives in bulk. Then they mark up the price and sell it to American consumers. The only difference between the knives on AliExpress and Huusk Knives is that Huusk Knives has their brand logo etched on their knives. Obviously, it doesn't require much work to print your brand logo on a knife, especially if someone else made that knife to begin with. So that's line number 2. The other marketing claim that Huusk Knives makes is that their knives are for personal and professional use. In fact, on their website, Huusk Knives has testimonials from professional chefs about how great their knife is. Here's the problem with that, and there's actually 2 problems with that. The first problem is that Huusk Knives states in their terms of service agreement that their knives are for personal use only and are not suitable for professional use. If that's the case, why use professional chefs to advertise the knives when the knives aren't meant for professional use? It doesn't make sense, unless their plan was to trick people into thinking that their knives are so great, even the professionals use it. Here's the second problem, and this problem is actually worse than the first. Huusk Knives has an endorsement disclaimer where they state that they actually pay the chefs that endorse them. Talk about conflict of interest. It's one thing to use influencers who have no expertise about kitchen knives to promote your product. It's another thing to use professional chefs who do have expertise on what makes a quality knife to promote your product. Because if your knife isn't that great, the professional chef has all the incentive in the world to give your knife a positive review because they're being paid to. So that's line number 3. Now, let's talk about the reviews for Huusk Knives, because what I found during my research was truly shocking. The first thing you notice about the reviews on their website is that they're all 5-star reviews. There's no bad review in sight. But here's the thing. These reviews are just screenshots. There's no link or even a dedicated reviews page on their website. So where are they getting these reviews from? My theory is that Huusk Knives is actually faking their reviews. Check out the profile picture for this review on their website. It looks like your typical stock footage image. It doesn't even look like a real person. And funny enough, Huusk Knives states in their terms of service agreement that they use fictional names and pictures for their testimonials. Unfortunately, things get much worse from here. The things I found out during my investigation led me to conclude that Huusk Knives' true purpose was to scam people from the get-go, and I'm going to lay out their entire strategy. Here's their plan. They find a cheap Chinese knife on AliExpress, and then they build a brand around it using the popularity of Japanese knives. Then they run ads and pay influencers to generate sales. And in order to maximize their sales, the company begins to remove any negative reviews and even fabricate positive ones. Once the negative reviews become too overwhelming, the company restarts their scam under a different domain name. Here's why I say that. If you search Huusk on Trustpilot, you will find several different companies. There's HuuskKnife.com, HuuskOriginal.com, Huusk.com, HuuskStore.com, GetHuusk.com, and HuuskJapan.com. Huusk.com, which has the most reviews out of all the company profile, has a 3.8 star rating with over 3,000 reviews. If you click on Huusk.com's profile, you get this message. Unfortunately, it's not possible to leave a review here anymore because the company's website has closed. You also get that same message when you click on the HuuskJapan.com profile. The company didn't shut down, they just got rid of the old domain names and replaced it with a new domain name and ran the same scam again. Their current domain name is gethuusk.com and it has a 4.6 star rating with over 200 reviews on Trustpilot. But notice the message at the top. We removed a number of fake reviews for this company. Translation: we deleted a lot of negative reviews to boost our Trustpilot rating. Most of the complaints from customers had to do with refunds, late deliveries, poor customer service, and the subpar quality of the knife. So now that we've established that Huusk Knives is a scam, the biggest question left to answer is who owns the company. The parent company is a Lithuania-based corporation called OrbioWorld. OrbioWorld is a direct-to-consumer company that develops online brands and builds e-commerce websites. OrbioWorld consists of 3 companies, but the company that we're focused on for this video is ECOMLT LLC. This is the company that operates Huusk Knives. ECOMLT is registered as a Delaware domestic LLC, as well as a Tennessee foreign LLC. But notice the Delaware filing date for the company, March 8th, 2021, and December 14th, 2022 for the Tennessee filing date. This company is basically brand new, or maybe it's more accurate to say that ECOMLT is in the early stages of their plan to expand into the American market. Here's why I say that. The registered agent for ECOMLT is a guy named Gabriel Pincus. He's a portfolio manager, serial entrepreneur, and just recently, he's been hired as the head of US operations for ECOMLT. This is not good news for the American consumer because ECOMLT is nothing more than a shady dropshipping scam selling cheap Chinese-made products at marked up prices to unaware Americans. During my investigation, I found several businesses owned by ECOMLT. See if you can notice a pattern between all these different brands. I'll give you a hint. Look at the percentages. They all offer 50 or 70% discounts. Question: how is it possible for a business to offer 50 to 70% off their products across various brands and still manage to stay in business? And this isn't a short-term thing, because I used the Wayback Machine and discovered that these brands are having these 70% off discounts all year round. Either the products are overpriced to begin with, or the people running these brands are just stupid. Personally, I don't think these people are stupid. Like I said before, ECOMLT and all of its brands, including Huusk Knives, are basically dropshipping scams that use deceptive marketing and shady marketing tactics to create a sense of false urgency while misrepresenting the quality and origin of their product. Which brings me back to the YouTubers promoting Huusk Knives. With all the things that I've uncovered during my investigation, I don't know why any YouTube creator will promote Huusk Knives. I can already hear the excuses that these YouTube creators will most likely try to use. They will probably say that they didn't know that Huusk Knives was a scam. Well, that's because they didn't do any research. Because if they did, they would have stayed away from this company. But it's okay now, because I've done all the research for them, so there's no more excuses to make going forward. That being said, I want to make one thing clear. I don't want anyone attacking these YouTubers or leaving negative comments. However, if you watch or are subscribed to any of these YouTubers who promoted Huusk Knives, please show them this video, because as I've shown during my investigation, ECOMLT is trying to expand into the American markets, which means more and more YouTube creators will get approached by Huusk Knives. So share this video with any YouTube creator promoting Huusk Knives so they know exactly what they're promoting. Stay safe out there.
Imagine getting 70% off of something. Crazy, right?